City lost 3-2 against Liverpool and Chelsea beat Palace by 2 goals now. Of course, that sets up a final between Liverpool and Chelsea, which will be live on talkSPORT. Andy Townsend to my right, in case you were joining us late, to look back at those 2 games. We have to start talking about City against Liverpool. The big question, or I suppose the big unanswered question, is why on earth would anyone drop a goalkeeper, even more so in an FA Cup semi-final, even more so when you've got arguably one of the best goalkeepers on the planet. I mean, his name's in the conversation.
Yep.
Whichever way you look at it.
Yep.
There's no other player that would be in the conversation as the best player on the planet, and you'd leave him out for an FA Cup semi-final. So why did Pep think he could leave a goalkeeper out?
I have no idea, and I'm afraid unless you're really in those 4 walls, behind those 4 walls, hearing the conversation and the discussions that take place in order for Zack Steffen to play. Look, there are managers that we know go down the road of they pick a goalie for a cup competition, they want to stay with them. But I just think the enormity of that game, what it meant, and also there's a psychological war going on now with Liverpool and City because they're so good and there's so little to choose between them. So why would you want to hand any slither of an advantage to the other one? I really couldn't quite understand.
And also, when you look at Man City's starting lineup, they were missing Diaz, Walker, Laporte, and Ederson. Of course, we just it's a weakened back 5 anyway.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, we know how important the goalkeeper is about arranging defence, etc.
Yeah.
If you're already, excuse the pun, but down to the bare bones, why on earth would you make it even barer? I just don't get that.
No, I was surprised, and I do think with number 2 goalies, right? I do think you have to be a little bit careful, because if you pitch them into certain games and they end up making the sort of mistake that Zack Steffen did, and let's be honest, it was a shocking mistake.
I still can't understand. I've seen it about 10 times. I can't work out.
First touch, the ball gets stuck under his feet.
But he can see.
Yeah, Sadio Mane coming at a rate of knots,
and he's still lethargic on the ball. I can't work
it out.
He's
frozen in time.
Yeah, it's like he didn't know what was happening. Couldn't see Mane out of the corner of his eye.
But there have been number 2 goalies down the years that have gone in, made a rick, and they don't quite recover. I don't know if when Loris Karius was at Liverpool, and when the mistakes he made, those big high-profile mistakes he made in the Champions League matches, etc. To try and recover from some of them for some of these guys is very, very difficult. Very difficult. I know the life of a goalie is, particularly nowadays, when you got the ball at your feet a whole ton more than what you ever had in my day. I know it can be a precarious job, but I just think it's also quite dangerous if you put some of these guys into situations like that and they make such a big mistake as he did. Look, it wasn't the only mistake that was made on that day by Manchester City. There were others which enabled Liverpool to be 3 up at half time. But it was the biggest. But it was the most important one.
Let me ask you, if you were in that team, how would that affect you?
Well, you only have to look at the reaction of some of the other players. When Stonesy knocks that ball back to him, and it's not like the out ball was closed. I think he could have gone out to the left back. He could have gone that way if he'd have just took a first touch. Because the ball's not back to him between the posts, and first thing he's got to do is make sure he don't go under his foot like an Enkelman. Remember the Enkelman one in the Villa Birmingham game? Now I'm trying to think. Was Peter Enkelman actually? I don't think he was the number 1 goalie at that time. A Villa fan will tell me. I'm pretty sure he was a number 2 going in for that game. Made such an awful rick, and he just sort of almost slid out the door, Peter Enkelman, and disappeared. I don't know where he ever went, but and I do worry sometimes that they have such faith in their squads, these coaches now, but with that goalkeeper, my goodness me, you've got to be so careful, because if they do make the sort of rick that he made, then it can really affect them, I think.
But we've seen that before from Pep. He seems to tinker in big games. We've seen it in the Champions League final as well. Would you be worried that he's going to do that again if you're a Man City fan this season?
I think if you're a Man City fan, you know full well he's liable to do something very different at any time. He really is. I think that's just the nature of Pep. He always, whenever you turn up for a game, I've said this before, whenever you turn up for a game, and I'm commentating on a City game, the first thing when we're all sat there and like literally as teams are about to come in, we're all looking at a team sheet and we're all going, oh, where's he playing then? Where's this one? Where's it? Because you can't never quite work out straight away exactly where everyone is. Who's playing 9? Is it no 9? No, it might be Foden. It might be Bernardo. Could be De Bruyne actually. No, actually it's Raheem. He'll go, you're like that. It's like guesswork whenever you're whenever you're trying to work out sometimes a Guardiola team, I think he does it deliberately because if he's keeping everyone guessing, he's keeping the other team.
But he got it wrong, didn't he? He got it wrong.
But I just think, I just don't see in that position, in that game against that opponent, why you'd want to do that.
Yeah.